All right, folks, welcome back. It is Zwift Racing League, Round 1, Race 3, Liliac Division in C1. We're taking on Turf and Surf in a scratch race format tonight. Basically, finishing line points only. You can see I had wrecked my mic there by accident. Still getting my station figured out after a 5-month hiatus. So not sure if you saw the profile on the top right side, but you can see the profile in black right in the middle of top middle of my screen there. It's flat and flat some more, and then flat, 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 flat. And we go downhill and it's flat, and then we go uphill and then downhill and then some flat and then uphill again, with a slight uphill finish. So here we are. The start wasn't too bad. It was manageable. I felt as though I wasn't getting my socks knocked off, which is always a nice feeling. After last week's Sprint Fest, I was gonna just planning on sitting in, having a grand old time, and seeing where this race takes me. Obviously, you don't need a PhD in particle physics to realize the selection points are going to be the one bump in the middle of the race and then the bump at the end of the race. So we'll see how things go there. A minute and a half in, or two and a half in, decide things were getting a little stale. So here I go. There's a bit of an uphill here, and so I decide I'm gonna give it a bit, just kind of see where the night takes me, see who follows. Basically, just kind of test the legs, my legs, everyone else's legs, see who's reacting, who wants it. Who's gonna sit back, who's gonna chase me, all the fun stuff, racing. Just wanted to liven things up a little bit and early, kind of see where things are. After that mini effort, I had a feeling I'd have a decent night, just based on the fact that I wasn't already bleeding through my eyeballs and I wasn't tasting blood in my lungs, which is always a good sign. At this point, my heart rate is, relative to when I was fit, it's pretty high, but it feels under control. Last week did not feel under control. Last week I felt like it was just a nightmare from the get-go, which would make sense. It was the first intense session I'd had in 4.5 months-ish. So, one could be excused for having a high heart rate. So my heart rate's down to 160, decide, why not? I'll try it again. There's a little dip coming up. I can see it in the little profile there. We have a left turn with a slight incline, decide to go again. And my main man, Mike Fish, decides he's gonna join me. And as soon as I see him on my tail, I just lay off the gas. There's no point. Guy's too strong. We've been racing forever. And decided that it wasn't worth the effort. We're way too far out. It's 20k to go with a bunch of climbing. We got like 35 minutes of racing left. Just having a bit of fun, calling the guys out and trying to keep things fresh. So we're gonna skip forward because it's pretty tame at this point. Not much is happening. We've got a little flyer on the front, but eventually he gets caught. Magic, 12 minutes later, literally nothing has happened. We went down a hill, maybe lost a couple guys. We're at 50 or 60 people in this group now, kind of sitting towards the end, tail gunning. We're going to start the first selection point with the climb. So we hang a right and then we go straight into a bit of a 3, 4, 5%. Now there was some chatter going around on the team on best use of the draft van power up here. So in my view, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Rule number 1 is if you're dying and you're going to get dropped, use it. It's a very draftable climb. You can see from sauce there, we're in the 50 watt, 55 watt, 40 watt. If you have a wheel and you're struggling, hit your draft fan. That was kind of rule number 1. Rule number 2, or option number 2, I guess you could say, is wait for one of these flats to come out if you think you need a rest. You're not quite getting dropped, but you need a bit of a rest, and you want to stay with the pack. You'll get maximum draft. You can see my watts go up to 50 here on the little flat part, and they go right back down. Since we're at 5%, we're at, about 20 watts of savings. And then back to flat, and then back up again. So here's kind of the first little plateau of this hill. We're coming about to the end. A lot of guys use their draft fan here. Get a rest before the last little climb. Some dropped frames there. Sorry about that, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Last little climb before we get this first selection point over. I decided I was going to use my van at the end as a rest, just to help with getting my heart rate down, sticking with the pack, doing as little work as possible. You can see we're going downhill here, gathering some speed, and I'm just kind of coasting as much as I can, trying to get my heart rate down to as low as humanly possible. It's still pretty high, 179, which on a flat going downhill is still pretty high for me, but like I said, we'll get there one day at a time, one race at a time, see the progress. That's what we're here for. Look up and see my heart rate's in the 160s, which is a good sign. I'm recovering rather quickly. Pretty happy about that. Without too much effort going downhill here, knowing that we've got ourselves another climb coming up. We managed to shed about half the field. We're at 35, 40 people at this point. And again, just drop some frames. I was typing and I have some hotkeys which flipped my screens and I couldn't be arsed to edit it. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh yeah, back to the flats. We are almost coming up to the hill. We've got about 6K left in the race. 10 minutes or so, which is where things are going to start to heat up slightly. Some more dropped frames. I got to get this machine checked out. It's been a while. And again, just couldn't be bothered to edit it out. I want to get it out right after the race. And I know I won't have an opportunity to do it later this week, so you're stuck with it. So here we go. We're coming up on a little, I would say this is a little stinger right before the actual climb. The way Zwift designed this course, there's a lot of these little kind of efforts before longer efforts. So this one's just enough to pinch. I had to go up to 300 watts, and it's 5-6% for a little while, and then 3%, and it's just enough, I think, to get people's heart rates up, and not enough time between this and the climb that's upcoming for us to really recover super well. So as you can see, my heart rate's in the 170s. I think I might manage to get it down in the 160s before the next climb, but there really isn't that much time. And that's not bad, 163, 162. And for me, going into a climb in 170, at 170, if it's a sustained climb, I know I'm going to blow up. 160, I'm on the fence. I think I can do it. I'll be able to probably, make my way through it. So here we go. This is the last effort. We're going into it with almost 40 people. And here I decide I'm going to drop into my small chain ring. I like keeping my climbing cadence the same as in real life on Zwift to try to kind of reinforce, the habit of climbing in a high gear in the small chain ring. I know a lot of people on Zwift will just crush and grind, but I'd rather not do that. So here I am spinning at about 95, 100 RPM, which feels pretty natural to me, although indoors it kind of doesn't. It feels a bit strange. And same discussion as before with the power up. We've got ourselves a feather here. Where do you use it? Well, logic dictates you use it at the place that's the steepest, which is coming up. And you see a lot of people pop their feathers here. My intention, again, base rule, if you are able to hang on to it, if you're going to get dropped, use your feather, like especially on a climb. Just, you know, go all in, don't mess around, use your feather. Make sure you can stick to the pack. Now, I knew that there was a bit of an uphill finish here. Not this climb, but right before the banner, having raced this finish line before in the past, I remembered that there was a slight uphill. No, I didn't get a chance to recon it. It's just too busy. So I gave myself a little effort here, and all of a sudden find myself jump 10, 12 wheels, and I'm kind of in 10th place, and I'm thinking, sweet, I've got myself a decent chance at placing. A lot of gaps, and decide I'm going to drop my feather right about here, which is idiotic because I'm going downhill at this point. I just couldn't help myself. I wasted my feather more than I ever could have thought. This is where I should have dropped my feather and then got pipped at the line for third. Just frustrating. Again, didn't really think that one through, but oh well. Fourth place, pretty happy with the result. Some decent 1 minute and 30 second efforts, top of the pack. I'll take it. And I've got an FTP bump on Zwift of 237. Now, intervals, funny enough, is telling me that this activity was estimated at 265 and is telling me my estimated FTP is 276. I think that's way too high. I think that's bonkers. There's no way my FTP is that high at the moment. I'm not going to live in La La Land. I know it's at about 235, 240 at this point. And there's my chart. This is based on a 265 watt FTP. And so there's not much movement on the green line, which is my watt preem balance. I did bury myself at the end, going in the negatives. I'll take it. I'm happy about that. All in all, you know, decent race performance and a good finish despite my fourth place, which is right off the podium. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.